What's up, everyone? Adam Engel alongside Chris Becker. As you guys can tell, my voice is a little rough for good reason. Oklahoma State basketball, men's basketball, the Cowboys win a thriller over 6th ranked Kansas. I know they probably won't be 6th ranked for long. 75-70 is your final score in GIA. Chris, what a game it was, man.
It almost happened again, Cowboy fans. It almost happened again. For the 3rd straight game at home, Oklahoma State blew a lead late in the second half. But this time, it was the opposite of the first two. They ended up winning this game thanks to an outstanding play from Cade Cunningham. He blocked a shot, rebounded the shot, saved it from going out of bounds, threw it to Bryce Williams, who then threw it to Brundle Walker, who then gave the Cowboys their final lead of the game. And that's all it took.
Well, yeah, if you think about it, it was kind of like a home run in the sense of basketball, because there's a little bit of everything. He touched, first base, and then, it was a complete play. Oklahoma State, man, it was a thrilling game. I'll tell you what, it was loud. It was loud, to say the least. I couldn't hear myself think. It was deafening. But, Chris, I'll tell you what, a huge difference that stood out to me personally in this Oklahoma State win was the fact that OSU, in recent memory, in recent games, you remember that stretch a few games ago where Cade Cunningham fouled out 2 games in a row. There was not a single Cowboy tonight that committed over 3 fouls. Foul trouble was low. Free throws, they finally started shooting the ball well from the stripes. 80% was the free throw percentage.
They missed the one that mattered. Bryce Williams had a chance to close out the game a little earlier than the final shot. He went to the basket for a 1-and-1, or the line for a 1-and-1, and he missed the front end of it to keep the game as a one-possession game. But luckily, Kansas missed those shots, and that's what led to that Cade Cunningham, or the ending oop that Bryce Williams threw to himself.
Yeah.
That Coach Boyne said in his press conference, he just didn't want him to get hurt.
Yeah, it's something, a celebration, really, and it's interesting. I know Ben and I were actually talking after the game. Man, if this was not in COVID environment, you have to wonder if there would be a court storming. It is very plausible. But looking here at the box score, shout out to the trusty ESPN app for iPhone. Bryce Williams, man, the Ole Miss transfer, JUCO product. Shout out to the hashtag JUCO products. What a game he had. 17 points, 5 for 9, 3 for 7 beyond the arc. Did a little bit of everything. He was quiet there in the second half of the first half. Maybe the first 10 minutes of the first half was his jam, but then he got back to his great basketball playing ways in the second half.
Yeah, a lot of what Bryce Williams doesn't normally show up on the stat sheet, though. He's locked down on the defensive end.
Very true.
And it's kind of capped it off a great defensive night with that final hoop and steal, and same with Avery Anderson sticking with that defensive theme of guys whose stats might not show up on the stat sheet, but definitely had their impact on the game. Avery Anderson drew out 5-second penalty on Bryce Thompson, an Oklahoma guy who almost came to Oklahoma State.
He did, almost.
But he didn't. He got Kansas, and Avery Anderson locked him down 2 straight possessions and almost got 2 straight 5-second penalties on him. And those don't show up on the stat sheet, but they definitely helped momentum in the favor of the Cowboys to help build that lead that ultimately really led to the Cowboys winning. Yes, it was blown, but if it was any type of game, Kansas would have run away with it when they went on that 19-2 run.
Hey, a win is a win. I'll tell you what, speaking of, someone that does show up in the stat sheet, I mean, listen to this, Cade Cunningham, 39 minutes. The man played 39 out of 40 minutes, 18 points, 50% from both the field and beyond the arc. Another guy that stood out to me was Avery Anderson III, a sophomore from I believe the Dallas-Fort Worth area, at 14 points. 50%, but shot 2 3-points, 5 for 6. But for Kansas, really the star player that stood out was McCormick.
He was really the only player that stood out there. And him and he was a one-man show most of the night. Yeah, other people scored. Obviously, he only scored 24 points. Somebody had to score the rest, but he was dominant down low, and that's the problem. That's one of the main problem of this Oklahoma State team. There's not a true 5, and McCormick a true 5, and he made Oklahoma State pay. And he was a big part of that 19-2 run. Kansas only hit 1 3-pointer that stretch, and he was a big reason why. Oh, absolutely. Well, that's the other thing. Kansas really struggled from beyond the arc. 23.8%, 5 for 21. You do the math, just looking at it, the eye test. That's not great.
that is not great at all. But speaking of the true five, we did see some, he played 4 minutes, but they were 4 valuable minutes from Bernard Kuma. I personally thought he played well.
Yeah, I think he played well in those 4 minutes. I mean, it's hard to judge him just because he plays a lot off the ball. He doesn't get the ball. He doesn't have the ball in his hands a lot of the time, but he does a lot off the ball, and he really helped. Guard McCormick for that stretch of time that he was in there. But all in all, it was a great game for the Cowboys, except for that little stretch in the second half that seems to always happen, little offensive lull. But they overcame it this time and were able to pull off a win. Yeah, absolutely.
It was for a second there, a few minutes actually. It was deja vu of West Virginia a week ago. Hey, before we actually, all right, who's Oklahoma State playing next?
It's Bedlam. It's
absolutely.
Time. It's that time of year and it's happening. And it's a global pandemic, so. Hopefully nothing happens between now and Saturday to make this game not happen. But, they're back in Gallagher Saturday against OU. Kate Cunningham's first Bedlam. Rondell Walker, Oklahoma guy, his first Bedlam. He knows the meaning of this game. It's going to be a fun one. OU just won their game tonight by 36 points against TCU.
Yeah.
They're coming in hot and heavy, and Brady Manick he's a challenge for Oklahoma State.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you talk about, fingers crossed, and actually for good reason. Oklahoma, unfortunately, their athletic programs this year have not done a great job with COVID. Their soccer team, football team, actually, basketball team, both men's and women's. Hopefully, everyone pray to whatever deity you believe in, that Oklahoma can stay healthy and we'll have Bedlam here on Saturday. Do you have any final thoughts, Chris?
That's all I got.
All right. Hey, well, it's Tuesday, right? Yeah. Hey, Tuesday night from GIA. Chris Becker, I'm Adam Engel. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.